Hi guys, Dr. Matt here from Thrive Chiropractic. Now, one common issue I see in my practice is, of course, hip pain. Now, we get great results with hip pain, but people are often surprised about where the cause is really coming from. Now, I want to go through some reasons why that might be. So, number one reason why you might be getting hip pain is that the pain is actually referred. So, I've got my model over here. So, these joints of your spine, this lower spine, this pelvis, this sacrum, what we call your tailbone, all these joints are supposed to be freely movable. Now, potentially from prolonged sittings, sitting too much, traumas you've had in the past, from accumulation of both, these get jammed up, torsion, dysfunctional, and there's a lot of pain-producing structures in here, whether it be at the nerve root, the facets, and what that can lead to is that pain being referred down to this hip joint here. Now, in the same way that if you had a heart attack and you're getting left arm pain, you wouldn't go into the doctors saying, you know what, I know it's a heart attack, but I'm really just getting some arm pain. So if you could just treat that, that'd be fine. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but that's how a lot of practitioners go about treating hip pain, if that's not where the cause is really coming from. So we need to look at the body holistically to see where the dysfunction is really being caused by. So number two reason why you might be getting hip pain is in fact that there's nothing wrong with the hip at all. Excluding if there is some serious pathology, often that we find is in these hip joints, like we said, if there's dysfunctions in the other areas of the spine or the pelvis, a little bit like an analogy we use in the office often is if you had a building with 4 workers and 2 of these workers were slacking off, what do the other 2 have to do? They need to pick up the slack, and often that we find is that they burn out faster than what's already not moving. So we're going to find that all these pain-producing structures in here, although not dysfunctional, are being overworked and causing you your issue. Now, on that and saying like a serious issue, people often get scans because potentially they've had that hip pain for months, years, decades. So they get a scan and they find that there's degeneration, some arthritis in the joint. So their first thought is, the practitioner who they're seeing is that's causing the problem. When in reality there's a lot of people with arthritis in their hip that don't actually have pain at all. So what's the difference? The scan where the degeneration is more reflective of neglect it's had there over time. If you weren't brushing your teeth for ages, of course they're going to rot. And the same with your hip. If it's had an issue for that long, it's then going to lay down some extra bone to deal with what's not working. So that will reduce the capacity of the joint to function properly and the integrity of it, but it's not necessarily where the pain is coming from also. So then what we find is people that often have issues with the hip that have been there for that long term, the reason they're not getting results is potentially they've seen the right person getting the right sort of care, but they're not getting enough consistency for it. So it might be kind of an on and off sort of scenario where one day it feels great, oh, what you did last time was brilliant, oh, I'm not sure about that time, when they're too spaced out and they're not getting the consistency they need for that healing. So if that shines any light onto why you might be having any hip pain, we'd love to help out and investigate some more. Please contact us on our Instagram, our Facebook, or even our website at thrivechirolife.com.au.